Good afternoon. This is John, and this is part two of what is it? Troubleshooting the 1992 W124 300E random overheating. Last week, this is my son's car. I take care of it for him, and he was in a drive-through fast food, in a long wait line, 20 minutes, something like that. And it started overheating. The temperature went into the red. He was watching the needle going, and then it got to the red. He shut the car off, thank God, because he can warp the head. And I've already done it. I think I've done 2 head jobs in the last 10 years on this car. Just the first one was a complete service of the head. The second one was just replacing the gasket, because the gasket was leaking oil and just, getting on the driveway. I had taken the head second time to the machinist, and he checked it out. He goes, "It's flat, everything's good, valves are still good, all that." So anyways, I don't think it's anything I did. I was in 2020 that I did the head, and he's been driving it without any issues, but something snapped. I don't know what it is. Something happened. And he drove it home. I looked, underneath it. There was no leaks anywhere, nothing on the ground. The only thing I did notice was the expansion tank was down maybe about this much. I check this car weekly because it's 29 years old and he drives it to work. I don't want him to, break down, I guess. But anyway, it's kind of a hobby. I've been working on these old Mercedes for probably 20 years now, over 20 years. It's fun. It's a pain in the butt, but you know what? It's fun. It's satisfaction of fixing things yourself. So there's the expansion tank. I don't know why I can't say that word, but so the level's still there. I added. It's not a very big tank, It's this one here. Radiator was replaced in 2011. I did that. I think maybe 2013. I replaced the water pump. So this time around, let's see, in the last one I tested the fan clutch here. See, there's from what I've read, you're supposed to have some resistance. That's a cold engine right now, although it's 95 degrees outside Fahrenheit, and this does have resistance. If it freewheels, then they say that's bad. I think I don't know when it's supposed to freewheel. I know the thing shuts off like at high speeds. I don't know why, but so today I'm going to start the job. I bought the Citric G5 coolant. I bought a new thermostat. The thermostat is, at least to my records, I didn't find any receipts or anything saying I replaced the thermostat. I must have tested it, or who knows. But anyways, I got a new thermostat for it coming. Should be here in 3 or 4 days. I'm going to bypass this windshield washer reservoir. These are coolant lines here. So I got a piece coming from Amazon, a barbed connector, 3/8 both sides, and I'm just gonna hook this up because the coil in these things, at least on my SL, I have a 91 SL, and it overheated, scared the crap out of me. But it's got this coil in here, and down at the very bottom of the coil is like a little thermostatic, it's a block with 2 holes, one for each one of these lines. And I guess during the winter time, really cold, you know, places where the water freezes. Coolant runs through this coil here and heats this water, keeps it from freezing, so you can scrape the snow off your, you know, headlights and windshield. But here in Southern California, don't really need it. I can't really see that block. It's under there. So I'm going to bypass that because it's kind of a weak point. I mean, after being, you know, 29 years old, thing could burst at any time. It's just plastic and it just cracks, and then you have coolant, hot coolant flowing in here into the tank, and then it overflows from here. So I'm gonna do that. And so for right now, before I put it up on jack stands, I'm a member of Ben's forum, Ben's World. Hey guys. Somebody suggested replace the radiator. I mean, it has maybe 17,000 miles on this radiator. It's a bare radiator, OEM. You think these radiators would last a little longer than that. It's always had the G5 coolant in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it up, and with an infrared thermometer, I don't know if I can get in here or not. I think there's an AC condenser in front. I wanted to take a reading of the radiator and see if there's any hot spots, you know. I don't know how I'm going to do that though. Yeah, I guess I can do it from in here. Anyways, that's what I'm going to do. Well, I got it on jack stands. I'm going to look at oil leaks. There's a few oil leaks on this thing, and sometimes it completely stops leaking oil, and then sometimes it leaks oil. It's usually these this top timing cover, which is pretty easy to take off. There's a stupid seal on there that always leaks. But I don't really see any leakage there. Usually you'll see it like all around here. So I don't know what else is going on. Oil's been changed about 2 weeks ago. New filter, new oil sender, new EHA valve. I've done all that this year. Anyways, I'm gonna fire it up. Get it warmed up. And having a heat wave here. It's September, and oh my gosh, like 100 yesterday. Now he did say that he saw the coolant lamp lit up when he was at the drive-through. He'd shut the engine off, and then when he took off, the temperature got back down to normal, about 85 Celsius. We did take this to Starbucks drive-through the next day, and he said he saw that light flashing, the coolant light, even though there's coolant in there in the tank. So I'm going to take that tank out and clean it because it's full of garbage. Not real bad, but the walls of it are dirty. And I'll take that sensor out and test it with an ohm meter. I have a replacement one if I need it. It's the same one in the R129 that I have. So yeah, I still got about 143,000 miles. It runs pretty good. Anyways,
onward.
Well, I took it around the block several times where to get it nice and warm. Doesn't overheat when you're driving it at all. Crazy how hot that water gets. It's as hot as that expansion tank. It's 160 degrees. So, yeah, we're gonna bypass that for sure. That thing will stay cool. I know when you open the hood and you feel this part of the hood, man, it's just like super hot from all the heat. About a 185 now on the gauge. I don't know if this will work or not. About 200 degrees. 203. Fan is confusing it. I can't really get to it because of the condenser, right? AC condensers in front of that. Too bad, kind of like blocking the airflow for it. But I think I cleaned that out last time. I had to replace one of these fans. I took all this out and cleaned it. About 200 degrees all the way around. So I was just seeing if there was a hot spot that would tell me the radiators maybe got sediment in it. So I'm just going to jack it up and start draining the system. Now I was going to so we've got almost 90. Outside temperature is a little over 90, so this is like you're sitting there idling in a stop and go traffic type situation. I remember my 300 SE with the same engine. It kind of had the same thing. It hit about 90 and then the fans would come on. But I think if there was a serious issue with the cooling system, it would just be like going to 120, you know, like a failing water pump or something like that. So for now, I was going to do an acid wash, but I decided against it. I don't want to be responsible. There's a certain Mercedes citric acid flush. You buy it at a dealer or online. It's about $20, and I think it's powder, and you mix it with water, and you drain your system, and you put this stuff in it, and run everything for a while, and then drain it. It's supposed to get all the sediment and calcium and stuff that's blocking up passageways. But on Ben's World, some people say don't do it, don't do it. Some people say do it, do it, do it. And I looked at some other forums, and some of the Mercedes, these older Mercedes, wow, all of a sudden my freeze plugs got a hole in it and started leaking, or oh wow, my radiator started leaking. And I have replaced the heater core in here. I think, oh man, it's 2013, 2011 maybe, 2013 I'm thinking. That was a huge job, taking this whole dashboard out, and then there's a big box here that has the heater core and the AC evaporator, and you literally have to take this whole car apart. It looks like a bomb went off in it. It's amazing. I mean, everything is just down to the firewall, and it was just, I don't know, it's like 8 hours to get it out and 8 hours to put it in. It's crazy. So I don't want a chance putting a hole in that thing. So I'm just going to drain it. Let's take a look at the coolant, see what it looks like. I'm sure it'll look fine. Okay, time to jack it up. Got it jacked up. Got the jacks down on either side. The little piece of wood that's right where there's that jack point, that big black rubber round thing. So it's supported pretty well. There's the passenger side. Oh my God. So just doing an inspection first. So I see there's some oil right there. What is that? The alternator. Alternators don't leak oil. This transmission cooler line is pretty nasty. There's the drain right there for the radiator. So there's something up top there that's leaking there. Oil pan has a little drippage. The bell housing, there's drips there. I don't know where that's coming from. Looks like motor oil. I'm just taking it easy and going slow. Okay, gosh. Now, what I'm looking for, I know it's back here somewhere, is the drain for the block is somewhere up in here. I can't really see it. Oh my God. Freeze plug. Yeah, it's somewhere up there. Probably got to get it on the other side of the wheel to get to it. I've gotten to it before. Those tie rods probably need to be changed. Yeah. Should get some new ones of those, even though the steering is pretty good. Let's take a look at these shock absorbers while I'm under it. I don't see anything leaking. These are, what is it? Sac. I forget what it's. Starts with an S. It's German. Yeah, a lot of these seals are pretty nasty. Luckily, he just works in town here. I don't know if there was a boot on there or not. Probably was, but. our spiders. Take a look at the other side. Here we are. The other side. There will not be any black widows. Oh, God. I wonder why spiders like cars. Ugh, get out. What is that? Ugh. God. No spiders for me. Okay, let's take a look. That shock absorber. Oh, looks about the same. I don't see any leaks. Air conditioning compressor looks dry, so it looks like a lot of the, at least for this leak here, could be this line here. I think you can buy those. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I know I replaced one of the motor mounts. It started bleeding. Okay. The reason I'm jacking it up is to get that drain for the block. Everything looks pretty good here. Good God. And that oil leak on the bell housing, who knows what that's from. I guess I can crawl farther back, inspect. I really don't want to. Oh my God. What's that? Oof, more spider webs. Oh. What the hell is that? Whew. Get that crap out of here. What am I doing under here? Not too bad here. Transmission is dry. Okay, I'm crawling out. I'm crawling out of this place. Oil drain, oil pan drain. I don't know if it's a little bit of seepage here. I don't know what that is. It might be stuff that's flicked around when you're driving. Definitely over here there's a leak of something. Okay. Yeah, you can definitely see the transmission cooler line. I think that's what it is. Yeah. Here we are on the passenger side. You can see the see if I can zoom in on that. There it is. Okay, that's the drain. That's the drain for the block. Okay, it's the next day. I jacked it up a little higher. Got the jack out so I can give the bottom of the engine a good cleaning so I can see what's going on for future work on oil leaks. Spray it with that. This stuff's pretty good right here. This heavy duty citrus cleaner. You can water it down 50-50. And then a brush. And I bought this steam cleaner a while back, probably a year and a half, 2 years ago. And it was only 25 bucks. And it works pretty good for doing like the top of the engine, you get steam and a brush, toothbrush, a little bit of cleaner, a little rag. And you just start at one end and work your way around the whole firewall sides and then the engine. And it really gets rid of the grease without hosing the top of the engine down with any electronics that can cause issues. I did it to this Lincoln when I got this Lincoln. It was just a real dirty car. It's only got 20,000 miles on it, 2006. And this 90-year-old man had it. He had it all serviced at the dealer and everything, put brand new Michelins on it when I got it. I mean, every fluid had been changed, deleted the airbags in the back, so I don't have to deal with that. Just has normal springs and shocks. Coldest air conditioning I've ever experienced in a car is that car right there. That's why I bought it, just because of the air conditioning. That, and they go for like 400,000 miles on the same engine and transmission. Panther platform, yeah, that's it. So this car, top of the engine really isn't that dirty, which is good because I keep it clean. I clean it about every couple of years. I do a kind of a clean detail on it because who wants to work on a greasy, dirty engine? Okay. Yeah, it's not real dirty here. This is so hard to do. It's really not that bad, but finding oil leaks is never fun. This side of the block always seems to get nasty. So we're going to replace the radiator. I already ordered it, and a new fan clutch. Let that sit on there for a little while. Yeah, on my forum, some people say, take the radiator out, have it go have it cleaned. I don't think there's any places that even do that around here. Have them test it. Well, if it's a 10-year-old radiator, radiator and that thing's original. It's 16 years old. It's fine, but we're just trying to. I don't know. These cars must, it was boiling coolant, so the flow is probably not that good. Maybe it's just got a little bit of scale and stuff like that in there. Like I said before, I'm not going to do an acid wash. I don't want to weaken any freeze plugs, original. I don't want it messing with a heater core, which is a pain in the butt to replace. So just put a new radiator, new thermostat, new fan clutch. Water pump was replaced a couple years back. If it was a weak water pump, I mean, you would hear it. And the reason I replaced it last time, it wasn't leaking. It was just real noisy. And so I think it was just the front bearing. But, when you hear that, you might as well replace it. And that was it's almost like a 5-hour job because there's one bolt you can't get to. Anyways, gotta clean it off. It's all clean now. I don't think I even need that thing. But I got it all cleaned out under there best I could. Got air compressor and blew all the water out of everywhere. I did have to go in here and get all this side here just to be able to see that. I think the valve cover, there was some oil along here. I think the valve cover, it's a new valve cover. I just need to tighten it down. These things aren't perfect. After 29 years, ground, John. Get on the ground. So I got this hose a little cleaner so I can see what's going on. Must be right there at that union, right about there. Looks like it comes apart. It goes a hard line to this flexible line. $46 for that hose. Now, when I had a W126 I, it had the same leak. So I bought a new hose, but I could not get that apart as hard as I tried with wrenches and everything. I was like, what the hell? That was a long time ago. Probably get it loose today, but yeah, that thing had a leak there too. So I don't know. I mean, you can never get all the oil leaks done out of these things. You think you got it done, and then 3 months later, oh, there's another drop. Where's that coming from? You know, it's 29 years old. Just invest in oil pan. Now, see, I'm kind of a stickler for it because the association here will give you a ticket if you have cars that drop oil on the driveway. They literally will give you a ticket. So keeps me on my toes. All right, next up, I'm gonna start taking it apart, flushing it. So I just noticed this radiator cap. I don't know if you can see it, but this inner part right here is broken. The spring's still intact, so it's gonna make us, you know, it'll make a seal. It's still under pressure, but you think that if this was leaking, I would have seen it, you know, under the system pressure. It'd be just completely soaked around here, but it wasn't. So, but I gotta order one of these anyways. I don't know if this is the original one. It's all German, and maybe it is. I know the expansion tank was replaced. At least I replaced it 10 years ago. Okay, here's the coolant from the radiator. It's clear. It doesn't have a bunch of junk in it. Does not have a bunch of junk in it. Yeah, I wish I could look in the radiator, but you really can't. You know, I mean, it's not like all gummed up and dirty and crap, but anyways, it would be nice if this overheating issue, it was like, oh wow, that thing has got a crack in it and there's coolant everywhere, or the radiator's got a hole and there's water coming out of it. No, there was no sign. It's just the flow of it slows down, I guess. You know, water pump is like, what, 3 years old. You know, I don't know. So we're just gonna replace parts. Expensive. Oh, got it out. Pretty clean. Spring's not broken. Thought it gave you a temperature reading or a value. Made in Germany, so. There's the seal. Okay, so I got this bypassed, just like that. One less source of an issue with the cooling system. Some people with these cars, they'll go, oh, I'm gonna go on a 1,700-mile trip and I redid my entire cooling system. I got new radiator, new water pump, new hoses, this, that. And then they don't think about this bursting halfway through their trip and leaving them stranded on the side of the road. So get one of these at Lowe's or Home Depot for $4, put it in there. Unless you live in Antarctica and you need this kind of setup to, you know, this thing will no longer get to, what was it, 160 degrees. I mean, it must be hard on the plastic. It's lasted this long, but hey, it's 29 years old. Got the cooling tank, the expansion tank out. Okay, now I'm gonna clean this thing, and basically see that little, we're gonna call that a tit. It's just a little thing. In fact, it's kind of a little rubber deal that pushes into here, and then it pokes right in there, and then you've just got two 10mm nuts like that. Yeah, so I'm gonna take this thing, put it in the kitchen sink, clean it out. I watched a guy on YouTube with all these chemicals. You can see the sediment, and I think that's just old deposits from head gaskets done, and me not doing a proper flush of the system. You can't be perfect. So the sun's going down. It was 97 degrees here today. I could not really get out here and do anything when it's that hot. It's just like exhausting. So next I'm going to, I think I'll pull the radiator tomorrow, do the engine block drain, and then run a hose through here, I guess, and flush it out. And probably when I put the new radiator in, I'll, depends how nasty the water is that comes out of there. I don't think it's gonna be real nasty. I mean, if the radiator water is that clean, it's kind of yellow, but that's the color of the G5 coolant. So I don't know, at least it'll be good for another 10 years, the cooling system, right? Okay, until tomorrow. Here's a little tip. I should have thought of this before. So this cooling coil, there's two hoses, right? So instead of getting that splice, you can just disregard one of the hoses, because one of these goes straight to this auxiliary water pump. I have it disconnected because we need a new one. It just causes the interior to heat up all the time. So, but hook it up during the winter time when it's really cold, but during the summer, just pull the plug on it. It stops it. But yeah, I just, there's a little nipple right there, and it goes right here. So instead of having that splice there, you know, another possible point where the cooling system could break down in the future as it ages. So I was looking at where does this pipe go? You know, here's the monovalve, right? And so it's feeding water. I guess it's going, I'm not sure what direction it's going, but I think it's going here, right? The cooling system. But this pipe right here, it travels all the way back over here. And it, what am I doing? Yeah, it's right here. Travels all the way to right here. With that little clamp there. And it goes to this hose here, and that goes to the heater core. I did replace this one years back because it decided to spring a leak. But anyway, so it looks a little bit cleaner. I'll save the old hose and put it in the trunk with parts. In the future, we ever sell this and somebody buys it and wants to have that part working again, they can do it without having to search for parts. But that's the tip for today. It is the next day. It's going to be 100 degrees again. I did take, I'm going to clean this tank out in the kitchen sink. My wife didn't catch me. There's the level sensor. I'm sure it works, but it's just gummed up, and it probably clean it, and then test it for it to turn on and off when you do that. I'll do it with an ohm meter and double check it. Okay, I'm testing a thermostat to see if it'll open. God, it's so hot on my fingers. So it should open at 187. About 190. Let's see if it's open. Yep. Yeah, you see it? It's open. So I say the thermostat's good, But I bought a new one anyways. But that's how you test it. Turn that speaker off. Just get one of these thermometers here. I think it's a candy thermometer. Never used it for anything. It finally came in handy. I got my coolant tank sitting with soap in it. I'll shake it around. It's impossible to completely clean it out because there's baffles in here, and you can't get. I had a piece of wire with sponge, and I was sticking it through these holes, but you can't get it to the baffle parts. Okay, here's the coolant level sensor, and I cleaned it up, and I just have the ohm meter right there, set on audible continuity check. So what happens? Oop. Try this again, one-handed. I'm not real good one-handed. So when it's... John, hold this for a second. Just do it right here. There, now I've got 3 hands, and it works. So you just put these leads don't want to cooperate. Anyways, so when it's up like this, Jesus. So there's coolant level is up. This thing floats. It goes down, and your light comes on the dashboard. And what I figure is that there's a magnet on this part, and this right here is a magnet, and that's what completes the circuit. Okay, that's it.